Educating Ricky,
right,
number 3.
Final one. You've had hippopotamus. You had chicken. You believe it? And the last one is I'll be no buying one of them.
I love that one.
All right. Interesting one. This. I mean, I spent probably 3 days looking for this stuff. Right. And another one that I came across, right, and I was going to use. I was a bit like,
great life you've got.
I was just, you know, going on the internet and that, and I also look in magazines. Found a story about a bloke who, I don't know, he was messing about with a chainsaw, and
I don't know, he's messing about with a chainsaw. He was juggling a midget, and, whilst taking his alligator for a walk, and, go on.
And his arm, come off, right?
Come off? What do you mean his arm come off?
The chainsaw took it off.
Oh, yeah,
so
okay.
it was like, oh.
Again,
anyway,
it's going, oh no. Oh.
So, there's a picture of him on a exercise bike, sort of just with a little stump sort of balancing, but he's getting on with his life, he's happy and everything, everything's fine, he's not complaining, it's his own fault, he's got no one to blame, right? So anyway, he goes to the doctors, and the doctor said, I can do something there. So he goes, well, it's alright, you know, I'm getting by alright, don't worry about it. And he goes, no, we've got an arm in, right? We can attach that, a real arm, from someone who's, I think they'd passed away or lost an arm or something, and,
they lost an arm and didn't want it back.
Yeah, I love it. Are you using that?
Yeah.
No, because I know someone.
Because I know a bloke, actually.
Yeah. Well, can't you just put this one back on? Wow, it's first come, first serve, really.
Listen, I was just building a bionic man. We've replaced one arm with a robot's arm, so we got a spare one.
So, the doctor's going, let me put it on, he's like, well, alright then. So
Ungrateful bastard.
So, he does the operation, right? Everything's fine, he's loving it, he's happy again because he said he can brush his teeth.
Right, okay, if this is gonna be
He's
something
loving
like...
it again because now he can brush his teeth.
Right, if this is gonna be, and it was a leg, or
No.
it was a chimp's arm,
or it was the arm of a killer.
It was 2 left arms, right? I'm going to kill you.
Oh, let's leave it then.
What is it? What's the answer?
No, it's not that, I'm just
What
messing.
is, okay, right.
So he says, go on then, do it. So he sews it on, and, like I say, he's happy, he's brushing his teeth, he can have a pint in the pub, he's lifting a pint with it, all his mates are happy for him. It goes on for about 2 years, everything's fine. Then it all starts going flaky.
Oh, I knew it would.
Was it made of chocolate?
Alright, so it all goes all like gammy, and then, for some reason...
The arm starts going gammy.
It goes gammy, and it gets longer.
Of course it does.
So there's a picture of him, right, stood in the magazine. He's stood there with his arms by his side. One arm's normal, the other one is like past his knees. He can pull his socks up without bending over.
So is this gonna be, they gave him the arm of an 8-year-old child who would have been the tallest man in the world?
No, he just said, oh, what am I gonna do? And the doctor said, oh, there's not much we can do. And left it.
Wait a minute, you can't leave it there.
That's not a story.
So, Carl,
That's not
You've
a
got to
story.
tell us the explanation.
Was
Was it an incredible plastic arm? An incredible expanding arm? Did he fight crime later?
No.
Well, that's the end of the story. You've got no scientific explanation as to why...
That's why I didn't pick it.
But you just told it to us anyway!
Yeah, but I'm just saying the sort of knowledge I come over when I'm looking for the good knowledge. Yeah?
So that
Why did
hasn't
his
even
arm
made the
grow?
list.
Why did this arm grow? He must have had an adult arm. They couldn't have given him an arm.
I don't know. It's just one of them.
It's rubbish again,
It's
isn't
not.
it?
Well, I don't. It's an interesting story, but you should have
It's not, and it's
But
rubbish.
you
It
should have
didn't
read to the
happen.
end. There was photos.
Yeah.
But you should have read to the end of the article, Carl.
No, I did. And he said, you know, he's not happy and he wishes he wouldn't have had it done and all that, and, you know.
Sure this wasn't entirely unexpected?
No, seriously, he was saying, you know, his teeth are nice and clean again because he could brush them and that, but his arm's getting in the way. Ruining his shirts and everything. So I'll leave that.
Let's play a tune. Let's come back with the next one, because I love the fact that this is like Ronnie Corbett telling one of his jokes. That's ironic. That wasn't even the story. He was gonna tell it.
Well, Carl, that's about it, and we got sidetracked on the last Educating Ricky. You telling me about a man whose arm grew.
Well, something went wrong. I'm not saying it grew, just saying.
What? The rest of him shrunk?
It went long.
It went long. What, is that growing there? What do you mean it went long? Did it grow, or what, did it come loose?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, so it was hanging by a thread that's made it look long? within the skin.
It's like how you can stretch a pair of tights if something is too heavy.
Arms are very much like tights. They are very much
the
like
one,
tights.
the one that we didn't get round to on Educating
Yeah.
Ricky was, I'll be no buying one of them.
Go on.
Are you familiar with the saying white elephant?
Something is a white elephant. I don't think so.
Hold on. You phoned me last night and said, what does white elephant mean? And I told you.
Yeah, I know, but I know where it came from, but I just was wondering what it was about.
So how, in what way is Educating Ricky you calling me up and asking me something?
Well, do you know how it came about?
You've given away some of the secrets of the show there, it would appear. I didn't realise he was phoning you for information.
Well, you just asked me what the term white elephant meant in sort of like colloquial.
Did he say, why are you interested, Carl? No reason.
No, go on.
Well, what it is, ages ago when...
So what do we understand white elephant to mean?
It's...
Well, something that's useless, that's like a bit of a, you know, something that you wouldn't want around that's just stood there doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Carl.
So years ago, when people used to use elephants
Years ago, go on.
When people used to use elephants?
Yeah,
Go on.
more than they do now.
Right.
More than they do now!
This doesn't involve a midget, does it?
So you know, they'd use them in the workplace and stuff. To sort of-
Yeah, as factories.
sort of,
yeah.
To move stuff
Tea
around
ladies.
and that.
Yeah, security guards.
Yeah. Can't trust them with the buns, though. That's why they stopped using them.
Oh, God, go on.
So there was loads of elephants knocking about, and the thing is, right,
You couldn't move them.
if you have a lot of something,
Uh-huh.
you also have a lot of demic ones, don't you?
A lot of what?
You know, sort of demicky ones that aren't right, really.
Demicky.
Well, you know, like, they weren't properly. They weren't...
They weren't properly.
They weren't
Sorry,
demicky or
what, Carl? What are you doing?
Right, I'm getting to the story. So what I'm telling you is...
They were a bit demicky, so they weren't
Basically
properly.
what-
Have you started making words up?
Right.
Yeah, you Stanley Unwin.
Listen.
Reincarnated.
What-
Demicky?
Yeah.
There was a lot of albino elephants knocking about.
Where? Where is this?
Olden
times.
Africa.
Yes! Should we say Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If an answer's got a question mark at the end, I'm
Well,
not sure
it's
an
either
answer.
Africa or India, but I'll give you a clue. Well, these elephants, do they have big ears or little ears?
I didn't sort of notice the size of the elephants. What I noticed is they were white because they were albino elephants.
Okay.
Right? So that's why they're heading. I'll be no buying one of them.
Okay.
No, right.
So what would happen is people who didn't know what they were doing, like, you know, you get people making a mistake buying cars that are full of problems and that. Back
Yeah.
then when people were buying elephants, they'd go up to someone, say, I'm after an elephant, and the fella would say, yeah, I've got one here for you, this is a nice one. And it was all white and stuff, and it had, like, blue eyes.
You should never trust a used elephant salesman.
It was just this elephant that's white with blue eyes.
Right?
This is great.
So,
Yeah.
so a fellow who didn't know what he was doing would buy the elephant, and he'd get it back, and it'd be all sort of lazy and stuff,
Oh,
and
the
what we're
worst
doing and
kind, yeah.
stuff. And he'd say, what's up with this? And his mate, who's a bit of an expert with elephants, and go, oh, where have you bought that from? And he'd say, oh, I got it off that fella, and he goes, oh...
All this embellishing nonsense he does with the story.
You shouldn't have bought that. So he goes, why? And he says, it's only albino, innit? And he's like, what does that mean? And he said, oh, it gets tired. It's not that good at doing work and that, you shouldn't
It
have bought
steals from you.
But elephants back then were like a god. You know what I mean?
Right.
You couldn't say, oh, I'm sick of this, then I'm going to abandon it or anything, because elephants were seen as, like, pretty high up on the chain of things. So they'd end up being stuck with an elephant, that's an albino,
Yeah.
couldn't do much, gets tired, basically gets in the way, so they said, that's where they're saying, like, you know, but a bit of a white elephant there.
What do you reckon, Rick?
I feel like I haven't been educated. I feel like I've lost something. So at that time in my life that I can never get back. I feel like I've sort of been soiled, and I don't know where to start. I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? I'm angry.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
And all that rubbish around. Look at his little face.
Well-
What was that? All that shit about a second-hand elephant salesman and his mate knew about elephants. What is it? What are they? They had blue eyes. What are you?
Well, there you go.
Albinos have red eyes for a start.
Oh, that's it, we've run out of time.
Oh,
yeah.
what? I mean, what are you gonna do about this next week? Are you gonna actually do some educating next week? And what about Rockbusters? Are you gonna make the clues proper cryptic clues?
Well, that's the teaser, isn't it? That's what we'll leave them with.